All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Recently, Craig Jones kind of exposed Mr. Derek Moneyberg on an episode of Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson's podcast. The topic came up when they were talking about renowned autist Mike Musumeci and his recent move to the UFC's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu promotion. It was a fairly offhand comment at first, but then it did start a bit of a convo that I want to go over in this video, okay? Because like I said, Craig kind of exposed what I already assumed to be true and also issued a challenge to old Moneyberg, but I also want to go over Joe Rogan talking about this topic as well, okay? Because Joe Rogan essentially legitimized Derek Moneyberg to a bunch of gullible people that still listen to Joe Rogan due to him being a gullible old man himself. So I want to go over that as well because Derek Moneyberg reposted what Rogan had to say as if it does fully vindicate him, and he even tagged me in the short so I would see it and maybe, I don't know, begin to believe him, I guess, or just to make me feel like an idiot. I'm not sure. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, let's get into the clips.
I can't wait for that debate because I mean, you're right.
And I want to ask him about Derek Moneyberg. How much did Derek Moneyberg pay you, Mickey Musumeci? How much did he pay you to wear that t-shirt, mate?
Oh, fuck.
You're against steroids, I'm against questionable black belts, mate. What's better for the sport?
Yeah, I mean, that guy's never...
I'm happy to sell out. Just own it. You can sell out. Just own it. Don't pretend it's something else. You know what I mean? Like, if it's the biggest payday, own it. You know what I mean? But you can't live in two worlds where you're saying, I'm chasing the best, doing what's good for the sport, and then you're like taking cash over here, which, again, how much did Derek Moneyberg pay you? Because I turned down his podcast. Maybe, allegedly, for money. So it's like, I see these guys, like, if you're going to say what's like, you're not a sellout, this is the right way to go for the sport, and then on the other hand, you're like, wow, this guy's one of the best black belts I've ever seen, despite what he looks like and that he wears socks on the mats. You know what I mean? It's like, Mikey, we're getting mixed signals here, mate. Come on.
All right, so there's a couple things there that I want to go over. Now, they are talking about an upcoming debate that Mighty Mouse is going to host between Mikey Musumeci and Craig Jones. The debate is supposed to be focused on whether or not signing exclusive UFC contracts for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is good for the sport, which Mikey Musumeci claims it to be. But as Craig rightly points out, Mikey's got a bit of a contradiction going on. Okay, you claim you want what's best for the sport, but at the same time, you are promoting and defending a fake black belt given to Mr. Slummyberg, and I do think it's funny that Mikey is basically the only one aside from Jake Shields, who is the one that gave the belt away, that has actually come out to publicly defend Derek Moneyberg. Not only defend him, but went above and beyond and claimed that he is a super genius and knows more about jiu-jitsu than most black belts that he knows, which is fucking crazy. Okay, considering Mikey knows some of the best grapplers on the planet, and that this guy, Slummyberg, even if his black belt was legit, just fucking got it. Okay, I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? Gordon Ryan won't come out and defend Moneyberg despite continuing to do his podcast, which I do find absolutely fucking hilarious. Okay, but also, Craig Jones exposed something that we already assumed was true, and that is that he pays people to come on his podcast. None of these athletes you see are doing the podcast because they think it's a good podcast or that this guy is legit. They do it because they're getting paid. Okay, that's why most of them look like they're fucking hostages. All right, now, I know this was obvious, but it is nice to have some actual confirmation that he does offer these guys money just to appear on his show, so he can appear like he's friends with or knows all of these world-class martial artists. The last thing in this clip that I also thought was fucking hilarious was Craig Jones calling out the fact that Mr. Moneyberg wears socks on the mat. I noticed this as well, and so did a lot of commenters on my first two videos about Moneyberg. I have never in my life seen anyone wear socks on the mat, okay? But let's continue.
I will say this. I did do Derek Moneyberg's podcast. He did, you know.
Did you wear the t-shirt?
I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I'll have to go back and look. But he did ask me if I would train him. I said, I cannot train you because I'm busy doing my own thing. But I did do his podcast because I was a great fit to show people that consistency, hard work, being true to like what your path and goal is will bring you success, right? So that's why I did the podcast. But as far as like training him and all that stuff, as you've seen my death sentence training arc, I'm very passionate about training people, and you need to train fucking hard. I'm not gonna support like, when it comes to black belts, I have a different viewpoint where it's...
Okay, so listen, I already knew that Mighty Mouse had been on Derek Moneyberg's podcast, and that's fine, okay? I'm not mad at guys getting paid for appearances, but as Craig Jones is about to say, just fucking own it, okay? If you did something for money, then just fucking own it. But the black belt situation is very different than just a paid appearance on a podcast, in my opinion. I do just want to point out that Mighty Mouse did not wear the t-shirt or the rash guard or anything, which I do find hilarious, and would love to know the conversation that happened before they recorded, because it does seem like he gets the vast majority of fighters that come on his show to wear them. So I can just imagine Mighty Mouse being like, no, fuck that shit. I'm not wearing a t-shirt with the face of a literal fucking ogre, okay?
What we should do is, if I'm planning to disappear and he vouches for Moneyberg's black belt, if you're about the legitimacy of the sport, and I know you are because you're anti-steroids, and you're about real black belts, then we'll do a pink slips match. You put Moneyberg on the line. I pick an opponent of what belt? What belt? What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
Are we doing gi or no gi?
We'll do a gi one, but...
Oh, God, gi?
He has to take his socks off. That's my only request. So we're going to make it fair. Most people aren't used to dealing with a guy with socks on. But we'll do a super fight, and then one of us has to disappear.
I think blue or purple. I think blue or purple belt. I think that'll be... I feel comfortable saying that. Blue or purple belt.
I think that's a fair challenge, hey? He has to walk away from the UFC bag, but he still have the Moneyberg bag, So win-win for him.
All right, I'm sorry. I do need to point something out about Craig Jones, okay? At the beginning of this podcast, Craig was wearing his ring on his index finger, and by the end of it, he switched it to his middle finger, which I do find a little odd. Also, that ring does seem to have some strange symbolism on it. So Craig Jones is either a Freemason or is just a master troll who knows that that ring would send some people into a frenzy, and if that is the case, I find that absolutely fucking hilarious. But anyways, Craig issues a challenge to Mikey Musumeci that I highly doubt him or Mr. Tommyberg will accept. Now, I guess we will have to wait and see, but again, I highly, highly doubt it, which is unfortunate, but in some sort of way, it's kind of a good thing, because it allows people to see that they aren't willing to put themselves out there in that way. And if you won't even roll with a blue belt on a pretty big stage, no less, to prove all the quote-unquote haters wrong, then you probably aren't all that confident in your abilities, okay? Do you know what I mean? But I am very much looking forward to that debate between Craig and Mikey, and seeing the way Mikey reacts to the whole Moneyberg situation being brought up right to his fucking face, okay? And not just him writing a post on Twitter or whatever, where you don't have to be confronted in person. Now, I do want to move on to Joe Rogan, who gave a ridiculous opinion on this situation just a couple weeks ago. I didn't find it enough to do a whole video on it. That's why I'm bringing it up now. But either way, let's get to that clip.
Have you seen this fucking Derek Moneyberg fella?
Oh, is he the jiu-jitsu guy?
Yeah, got his black belt in 3.5 years.
Right, but is he legit? Because he's with legit people. So I can't imagine.
Jake Shields is a savage. Like, all the respect.
And Jake says he's legit?
I think Jake gave him his black belt.
Well, then he's legit. There's no way. I know Jake. There's no way. Jake is, his jiu-jitsu is top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And I know Gordon is trained with him. I know all these other people trained with him.
Danaher was over there with him.
I haven't heard anybody say anything negative. So here's the thing. Someone who is like super rich, which apparently this guy is, who trains with the best trainers in the world and actually puts the time in every day. It's super easy to dismiss someone because they're rich. Super easy.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg is a primary example of that, right? I know for a fact Zuckerberg trains really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And he goes with real guys. And he brings in people like Dave Camarillo trains with them. He's trained with a ton of people.
Yeah.
So he takes it very seriously. He has access to incredible trainers, and he's an obsessive. He's a very competitive, obsessive person.
Sure.
So you could say, oh, he's got $200 billion. He can't kick my ass. That dude could fuck you up. That nerdy dude will fuck you up. And it's because he's actually put in the time.
Oh, okay. Well, that settles it, I guess. People forget, man. I know Jake. And if he says he's legit, then he's legit. Case fucking closed. Okay? God, I feel so relieved that Joe Rogan just figured it out all like that. Now, I do find it absolutely hilarious that Joe has to somehow make it about people just like hating on rich people or some shit, which I honestly, you know, find kind of fucking pathetic. And then he uses Mark Zuckerberg as an example, who, by the way, has been training for, I believe, at least a few years at this point, probably somewhat comparable to the time Moneyberg has claimed to have been training, with the ability to hire all of the best people and all that shit, okay? You know what the difference is, though? He's a fucking blue belt, okay? Not a black belt. And he actually competes. So we get to, as the public, actually see his progression and his skill level and things like that. But okay, let's continue.
And he doesn't have the time that this Derek Moneyberg guy has.
Yeah.
If this guy's if he's putting in like hours and hours every single day, which is what I heard, that he was like literally training multiple hours a day, every fucking day at jiu-jitsu, you can get to black belt level. I don't know if he is, you know, but I know that if those guys say he is, I believe them.
I told somebody, I was like, let me just see him do an armbar from closed guard. Let me just see how sloppy that is, and then I'll know for sure.
Or not sloppy at all.
Yeah, then exactly.
Right, why doesn't he just like show some drilling?
That's all it would take.
You don't even have to show me you rolling. Let me see some tight drills.
Yeah, that's all it would take.
Yeah, let me see you go through. But, you know, he doesn't have to. But then again, you kind of do have to if you project the fact that you're doing that.
Yeah,
right?
if you take some sort of, like, braggadocious sort of angle, like, 3 years, 7 months, got my black belt.
Right, you should probably show something. Like, hey, let me show you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is, man, but these guys say he is, so I believe them. Okay, dude. And then he follows up with, why don't you just show some drilling or some rolling? I swear to fucking God, dude, Joe Rogan's bullshit meter, detector, whatever the fuck it is that he calls it, has been at the repair shop for the last 5 years or something like that, okay? Yet he constantly offers opinions on things that he's not even looked into. There is some footage of him doing some drills, kind of, with the very guys that you were talking about, and he's wearing fucking socks, okay? The very evidence you seek is out there, yet you just sit here yapping, okay, without even trying to find it. I mean, Jesus Christ, listen, I'm not saying Joe needs to care or fucking know about the situation, but then just don't offer your opinion on it. If you get asked, be like, yeah, fuck, I don't know, I've not looked into it enough. Or ask, oh, is there footage of him rolling? I swear, this clip here is very symbolic of what the show is now versus what it used to be. I feel like in 2018 or something, he would have phrased it as a question, and 1,000-year-old Jamie would have just pulled it up, and Joe would have been like, oh, no, he's not a fucking black belt. Are you kidding me?
You know? Because otherwise...
I mean, because when I started, I was doing fucking 2 a day. 2 morning class, night class. And, you know, none of that came fucking fast for me.
But you might not have been the most naturally athletic guy.
Damn, dude, you know what? He's right. Everybody that couldn't get a black belt in 3.5 years just might not have been as naturally athletic, as much of an all-natural, absolute fucking specimen as Derek Moneyberg, okay? For fuck's sakes, Joe. Now, I do find it absolutely hilarious that even Joe's retarded friend could sniff this shit out, okay? Yet he's sitting here like, yeah, the dude seems legit.
Yeah, I wonder, that whole thing. Yeah.
I hung out with Jake Shields a bunch there. He's one of our next topics too. Like,
Jake, yeah, I know Jake. Jake's great.
I love Jake.
Yeah,
dude.
he does some crazy shit, but Jake's great.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah, moving on to the next topic. So, now is this again? I'm gonna lean on you for this. So Jake awarded this gentleman a black belt, Moneyberg.
Moneyberg, yeah.
Is it just Jake? Because Jake's, I mean, so to get a black belt from Jake's a big deal.
100%.
Is it just Jake? Like, I saw a picture of him and like 5 other black belts. Is it just Jake's thing?
So how it all kind of, the sequence of events was like this. Like Moneyberg has, he takes a picture with Jake, Teixeira, Frank, and I feel like I'm forgetting someone else. Oh, there you go.
Machida, Frank, and Glover.
Yeah, and he's like...
So all black belts from different guys, though, there.
So that's what I was saying. And so he's holding his black belt, and he's like, I achieved my black belt in 3.5 years. And, yeah, and, like, obviously the whole entire community just descended on it. And they were like, 3.5 years, like, has this guy competed? And because here's the thing. If you know jiu-jitsu, you look at this picture, and you're like, these are all guys from different academies.
Correct.
And they're all wearing his shirt.
Different lineage, different...
Jesus fucking Christ, okay? If a Down syndrome and a Hobbit, I guess Joe's a Hobbit too, but if they can figure this shit out, then Joe is truly cooked, okay? Immediately, they start pointing out the lineage and the fact that he's never competed, the fact that they are all wearing his fucking shirts, which probably indicates or implies that they're like being paid to promote or hang out with him or something along those lines. And look, dude, I don't like Jesse on Fire at all, okay? But I would bet my fucking house with my wife and kids inside of it that Jesse on Fire would destroy Mr. Tummyberg, probably get him in an arm triangle or something like that. And Jesse is a blue belt who's been training for probably about as long as Mr. Slummyberg.
When I saw this, when someone brought it up, they go, he got his black belt in 3.5 years. I go, wow, fast on BJ Penn. I said, did he win Worlds? Did he win CGI? Nope. Hasn't competed? No, I go, oh, it's a fake black belt.
Yeah.
Like there's black belts and then there's black belts.
Yeah.
So I assume, and I'm not mad at Jake.
Of course not.
I don't give a fuck if he's giving this guy black belt, whatever, how much he's paying him. But he paid for the black belt.
Of course.
But even if you're going to pay for it, even if he was doing privates every day for 3.5 years, you're still not a black belt. No. So just so everyone's aware, and in general, again, for those of you who don't do jiu-jitsu, in general, it takes minimum, if you're a stud, 10 years to get a black belt. If you're a stud.
Without almost any breaks in training.
Yeah, and again, if you're a stud.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know how old he is, the world's most raw, unfiltered business success coach. Learn how to make money, raise up your career, your business. There you go. So...
It's the first I'd ever heard of him.
It's a money play.
Yeah.
But for Jake, all those boys, wearing a shirt, if they're getting paid, do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Now, the only problem is if you continue to do this, and let's say Gary V's like, I want to do jiu-jitsu, and like Gary got his in a year.
Yeah.
Well, then it's like, all right, dude. So then Jake's legacy can never be tarnished because of his accomplishments. But if you have a black belt from him now, it just tarnishes that.
That's the only thing.
That's all.
Wow, okay, so Schaub's actually making some decent points, which is absolutely fucking crazy and honestly never expected. He's generalizing a little bit by saying minimum of 10 years. Obviously, there's going to be, to use one of Schaub's favorite words, outliers, okay? Gordon Ryan got his in like 5 years or something like that with the best coaches and training every single day, by the way. Obviously, like Brendan mentioned, BJ Penn and lots of other guys. But we just saw Khamzat Chimaev receive his black belt this past Saturday after winning a UFC championship using essentially exclusively grappling. Now, how do we think a role between Khamzat Chimaev and fucking Moneyberg would go? Okay, also, as Brendan rightly points out, yeah, you can't take away anything Jake Shields has done in competition, any accomplishments, things like that, but it does water down his black belts, and I bet there were students of Jake's from the past that saw this whole shit go down and thought, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? But either way, let's wrap this up.
No one can throw a rock at his jiu-jitsu pedigree ever, obviously.
No. Any of those guys on there.
Of course.
Frank Mayer, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
And,
look, and here's the clip right here.
Let me see the video. I've never seen him roll. Honestly, I'll watch it. I don't need to see him roll to let you guys know he's not an actual black belt.
No, I know. Just from where his weight is distributed. Just doing the drill.
Yeah, he's high up, his knees.
His hips are light. Like
he has socks on. That's kind of a red flag.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
hit it. Play.
So, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Every single one of his clips that he posted are all him drilling.
His hips are high.
You don't need to have the audio on this guy. Like, but yeah, like every single one of them is him doing a drill with one of these greats. And that's the whole thing is like, this is my take, right? He knows so little about jiu-jitsu that he didn't even realize that posting these clips alone
is giving me a bad look.
Is the biggest indicator that you're a complete outsider. It's like no one would just to put up like you drilling with a superstar. Like obviously they're allowing you to do the technique, which you're not doing correctly anyway.
Okay, so it is a sad day on this earth when Brendan Schaub and Jesse on Fire together do a better job than Joe Rogan looking into a subject while giving a take on it. They're going over the technique, the socks, of course, and whatever else to back up their claims, which I do appreciate, okay? Even if these guys are not my favorite people, at least they took the time to look into it even just a fucking little bit, okay? But anyways, that's it for this video. Craig Jones exposed that Mr. Tummyberg pays these guys to come on his show because he turned it down, which again, I know it was obvious, but it just confirms it for me, and hopefully we get to see him expose Mikey for lying in order to defend this fucking clown ogre fuck, okay? Rogan's a dummy whose bullshit detector is clearly now non-existent anymore, considering Brendan Schaub looked into a subject more than he did and gave a more informed take on that subject along with his hobbit friend Jesse, okay? Appreciate you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, all that good shit. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.